My hands are shaking so hard, I can barely hold this clicker. 400 people are sitting in that darkness, waiting for me. Oh, and this talk, it's in German, my second foreign language. 1 year ago, I rehearsed sentences before ordering coffee, out loud, in my car. So how on earth is this happening? Okay, let me show you exactly how an AI got me onto this stage. Hi, I'm Cindy, and for most of my life, I had one dream I never said out loud. I wanted to stand on a stage and give a talk, a real one, which is hilarious because I once texted, "Sorry, wrong number," to a voicemail. And to make it extra fun, the talks that actually mattered, the one I kept running from, was in German. So, stage fright, plus a language where the verb hides at the end of the sentence like a plot twist. Every time an opportunity showed up, I performed my signature move. I vanished. Next year, I told myself, for 9 years. 9. You know that dream you keep in a drawer because opening the drawer is terrifying? By the end of this video, you will see the exact system that pulled mine out, and the one uncomfortable truth that made it work. So 6 months ago, I opened an AI chat and typed the most honest sentence of my life. I want to give a talk in front of hundreds of people, in German, my second foreign language. I have severe stage fright. Build me the path. Instead of pep talk, it did something strange. It started at the end, the stage, and reverse engineered every single step backwards. A 6-month roadmap, strategic milestones, even a predicted date. Remember that date. It comes back later and still gives me goosebumps. Month 1. I did what every anxious overachiever does. I prepared. I read books. I watched famous talks. I studied German grammar tables. I took notes on my notes. Milestone 1 on the roadmap said, speak 60 seconds on camera in German, no script. I skipped it. Obviously, I wasn't ready. 6 weeks in, my progress was a masterpiece of nothing. So I tried something that honestly felt a little dangerous. I handed the AI my calendar and my study log and asked for a behavioral analysis. It found a pattern I had hidden from myself for 9 years. 38 preparation sessions, 0 exposure sessions. In 6 weeks, it exact words. Preparation is your socially acceptable form of hiding. I stared at that sentence for a very long time. That's the thing about self-sabotage. It never looks like sabotage. It looks like being responsible. So we rebuilt everything around one brutal rule. Exposure beats preparation. Daily. 60 seconds of me talking to my phone camera in German every day. No script. No retakes. Mistakes stay in. Day 1 was a hostage video. Day 30 was a slightly more confident hostage video, in which I invented 4 brand new wrong ways to say the. By the way, German has a 16-slot grammar table just for that word, the. 16. Then 2 colleagues, then a German book club. The ladder climbed exactly like the roadmap promised. And there is real science underneath this. It's called an implementation intention. In Peter Gollwitz's research, people who pre-decided when and where they'd act followed through far more often than people with plain goals. I didn't try to practice. I knew exactly when my mouth would open. By month 4, I felt unstoppable, which in every good story means exactly one thing: the dry run. 12 friendly people in a small room, the easiest audience on earth. I got 4 sentences in, and my mind went completely perfectly white. And here's the truly embarrassing part. I switched to English without even noticing. I only realized it when I saw the faces. I mumbled an apology in English and sat down. That night, I typed to AI, I quit. Some people just aren't built for this, and I would never be able to speak like a German. And the AI answered with one question that changed everything. Are you practicing to survive the stage or to belong on it? That's the identity gap, the habits of a speaker, the identity of a hider. Because deep down, I still believed one sentence. Being seen means being judged. And in German, every mistake felt like extra evidence. Then the AI showed me a famous kernel study. Students walked into a room full of strangers wearing a deeply embarrassing Barry Manilow t-shirt. They guessed nearly half the room would notice. In reality, barely a quarter did. It is called the spotlight effect. Nobody watches you as closely as you think. Nobody. My audience was never a jury, not for my nerves, and not for my grandma. They were busy worrying about themselves. One more trick, straight from a Harvard experiment. Don't tell yourself to calm down. Anxiety and excitement are nearly the same body state. Racing heart, buzzing hands. Speakers who said, I am excited out loud, performed measurably better than speakers who tried to relax. And here's the beautiful part. The German word, aufgeregt, means both. Nervous and excited. Same word. The language I was afraid of was telling me the two feelings are one decision apart. Final month. If then, plans for every single failure model. If my mind goes white, then I find one face and breathe out slowly. If my German leaves the building, then I slow down and finish the sentence anyway. Slow German is still German. If my hands shake, then I whisper, Ich bin aufgeregt. And I get to decide which meaning. And then it was the day, the exact date the AI had predicted 6 months earlier. Well, off by 4 days. I still can't process that. I stood behind the curtain, hard doing a drum solo in 3 languages, and right on schedule. My mind started to go white. If then, one face. Breathe out. Aufgeregt. And I walked out. 18 minutes later, 400 people were applauding, and I was laughing and crying at the same time. And then, the part I hadn't even planned for. The first audience question came, and I answered it spontaneously in German. 9 years of next year finished in 6 months. Because I documented everything, here's the honest before and after. Before, 38 preparation sessions, 0 seconds spoken. After, 140 daily videos, 2 colleagues, a book club, 1 dry run disaster, and 1 real stage in German. But here's the part I need you to hear. The AI drew the map. It did not walk a single step. Every awkward video, every butchered every uncomfortable rep, that was me. AI can calculate the path. Walking it is still a human sport. So here's my reframe. You don't need to become fearless. You need to become someone who acts while scared, even in the wrong language. By the way, this is my first video on this channel. If you'd like me to pop up here from time to time, Tell me in the comments. See you in the next video.